AT&T has said it currently doesn't believe that the data is publicly available. What is the damage?
Well, I think the damage for AT&T could be to their brand image in the near term. The one thing I'd say, Caroline, when you think about it is, think of all the hacks that have happened with Fortune 500 companies over the past year. It's become quite common. And so I think from a consumer standpoint, people may be more ho-hum about it than they would have been, say, 5 years ago, given how common hacks have become. Having said that, this is bad news for AT&T in the sense that, as Ed just mentioned, it's the second big hack announced in less than a year.
I want to bring some of the latest news we've got, John, to you and our audience just before we came on air. To be expected, but we started to hear from regulatory agencies and bodies, and AT&T had already said they were in touch with law enforcement, but the FBI says it's been contacted by AT&T about this. The FCC is investigating the massive hack of AT&T customer data. The question is, what is the vulnerability to AT&T? What is the risk to the company from this point?
So I think regulators are going to look into how it's handling its data. So to be clear, this hack was not on AT&T's network. To be clear, its network was not breached. It was housing data with a third-party cloud provider. So it generates massive amounts of data through call logs, right? When you call someone, it logs your number and the number being called. That's the type of data that was stored on, as Bloomberg reported, Snowflake's data platform, and that's where the breach was. So I think data regulators or telecom regulators are going to look into data storage practices, and of course AT&T will be open to potentially consumer lawsuits from this.
To that point, we reached out to Snowflake as well, John, and the company saying we have not identified evidence suggesting this activity was caused by a vulnerability, misconfiguration, or breach of Snowflake's platform. Is there any read across to more broadly how companies like AT&T do work with third parties?
So I think, like a lot of Fortune 500 companies, a lot of data now is moving into cloud storage because it just isn't practical in the age of data to store everything on premise. So I'm sure AT&T is going to do a reevaluation of its vendors. I'm sure a lot of companies do that routinely. And for Snowflake, I think they are probably, having spoken with our analyst here who covers the company, they're probably going to lean much more heavily into securing their platform and augmenting the level of security around the data that's housed on the Snowflake network.